Okay. Okay. So, so some people are telling me they're hearing me echo. I'm not sure if there's an echo coming out. People are telling me they're hearing me echo. I'm not sure if there's an echo coming out. People are telling me they're hearing me echo. I'm not sure if there's an echo coming out. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and start. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and start. I'm still hearing echo on the. I wonder if it can be heard at the other end. I'm still hearing echo on the. I'm just gonna lower this down to this level here. Okay, that's good to go. Hopefully I can be heard. I'm just gonna turn that down a little more. I'm gonna turn this up a little more. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if what's going on. Hopefully someone could tell me, but um, I just don't want to start without. Okay, can anybody hear me right now? This is the best way I can go about it, I guess. Can anybody hear anything that I'm saying? Can anybody hear the words that are coming out of my mouth? I know there's a delay, so every time I ask, there's. I'm just going to turn this up a little bit. I'm going to turn this up a little bit right here. Hopefully, I can be heard. Yes, you say you hear me, but I still hear an echo, and I'm trying to stop that right now. Hopefully, it won't be recorded that way. I'm just going to turn the volume up on the other side. And I'm going to have to hope for the best because I have no idea if I can be heard. All right. Okay, give me a thumbs up if you do. Okay, so okay, and again, I'm hearing that echo. Just bear with me for just a few more moments. Mic check 1, mic check 2. Mic check 1, mic check 2. I'm just gonna have to rewind that. Go ahead, Gilbert. Move that back. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and start. All right. So I'm not sure if how the volume is going to work here, but I want to welcome everybody to this episode of The Analyzed Life, and I am your host, Gilbert King Elisa. And the topic of today's show is it more important to be nice or is it more important to be truthful? Now, I got this idea from a few conversations that I've been having a couple of days ago, the last 2 days, with people who have been having problems with loved ones. And they've confided in me that things are not exactly going as they would have liked. But they've also confided in me that they felt they couldn't tell the person that they were with the truth about certain things. So that led me to this topic, and I just want to get to the bottom of this. And the best way I found to get to the bottom of this is to ask questions to then make you realize some truths that may be helpful to you, to someone you know, or to something that you might be going through. And I just want to let you know, and a little secret, this is the third time that we've done this. The first time I did this, I spoke for about half an hour, and I realized that the sound was muted, and that's because I had someone call in on the new line that we have, and I had to mute my side so I can hear them. And then when I did this one-on-one video with you, I forgot to unmute. So this is actually the third time we're going to go through this, and hopefully there's some sound coming out. I see the meters moving, and let's just continue, please. So let's say a person was married for a few years, a few months, and they realize something is not going right. But to be nice, they decide not to tell their loved one because they feel that they don't want to hurt their loved one's feelings. Is that actually being nice to that person? Is that actually being kind to that person to keep the truth from them? And is keeping the truth from them mostly for us, or is it for that person's own well-being? Would it be kinder or nicer to tell the person the truth so that they know where they stand and so their time won't be wasted? One thing that they can't get back, just to preserve a confrontation, hurt feelings, and a feeling of resentment. So, are those things that we do to seem nice, to appear kind, in reality hurting the person that we're with because we won't tell them the truth? That's something you might want to ask if you feel you can't talk to the person that you're with. Because if you feel you can't talk to them, then you might want to ask yourself, am I wasting my own time? Is time something I could get back? I might be fine with wasting money, but is time something I won't be able to get back? If you are going through a health crisis, for example, you go to the doctor and the doctor says, you have 1 year to live, when in reality he should be telling you, you have 1 month to live. Is that actually being nice? Or is that you keeping the truth from the person and actually hurting them more than if you actually told them the truth? If the person knew that you were being truthful with them and they had 1 week to live, it's not nice and it is harsh. But they'll take their approach to life a lot differently than if they thought they had a whole year to live. So in that case, are you being kind? Are you being nice by keeping the person away from the truth? Okay, I know what you might be saying. It's a stretch. But let's go with the people that we are trained and told to be nice to. Children. If a child presents you with what they call a masterpiece, and they ask you, do you love it, Mom? Do you love it, Dad? And you might feel obliged to say yes. You might be obliged to say, I love it. Is you being nice in that situation something that is good? Is it something that's being bad? Or is it something that can potentially in the future hurt the child? Is it something that might hinder the child from getting better at something that he or she needs some help at mastering, needs some help at seeing some difference in? Because a lot of the things that being nice does, it keeps us from bettering our own self, our own way of thinking, our own strengths. So you might want to ask, will I really be killing my child's creativity by insisting on the truth? Will I really be killing my child's feelings and spirit by me telling the child the truth? Now, a lot of people confuse the truth with being disrespectful. Are you being disrespectful by telling someone something they may need to hear? Or is it that the way that you tell the person the truth, lacking of all respect? Those are two good questions you might want to ask anytime you're confronted with being truthful, which is a lot different than being honest. That's why I'm focusing on being truthful. A lot of people may not be 100% honest, but they're truthful. But truth is something that perhaps you are not ready to hear. And you have to ask yourself in that situation, have I opened myself enough to accept the truth? You might be with someone who wants to tell you the truth, but feels that they can't do it with you because of your mannerisms and the way that you close up when confronted with the truth. So anytime you're dealing with someone who's above a certain age, you have to ask, is this person someone who is ready for the truth? Or is this person ready for someone to tell them pretty things? Those are two different things with two different results. You might think you want to hear pretty things, but then when you feel that you don't know someone, when you feel you're in a situation where you're really missing qualities, where you're really missing strength that you have never gotten a chance to work at, it's really because perhaps you have closed yourself to the truth. And you might want to ask yourself this question too. Who benefits from you playing nice? Who benefits from you appearing that you need to be kind instead of truthful? Could it be the people trying to make you believe the lie? Could it be feeling that a confrontation is worse than actually helping the person that you're with? It could be a best friend that you need to tell them, hey, please don't go down the same road that I just went down through, because I know how dangerous it was. And you'll keep them from it because you're trying to be nice and trying to maintain a friendship. But then you also have to ask yourself, am I being a friend by keeping this person from what I already know? But you might also ask, or you might also think, everybody has to live their life and everybody has to come up with their own solutions by exploring the different possibilities that have brought you to your own reality. So is a kind lie better than a harsh truth? You might want to ask. Is a kind lie better than a harsh truth? For example, you're about to enter your place of residence, and right before you go into the building, you see a fireman, you smell smoke, which means there could be a fire inside the building, and you ask what's going on to the fireman, And he or she will tell you, there's just some smoke in the hallway. And that's them being nice, when in reality, they should really be telling you the apartment above you is on fire and yours might be next. So, do you need the fireman to tell you a harsh truth, or do you need to tell you a kind lie? A kind lie might have you walking into a dangerous situation that you can't get out of. A kind lie might have you inhaling smoke. A kind lie might have you thinking, that's no big deal. A kind lie might have you thinking, well, everybody's getting along to get along, and ignoring some things that are in front of you. So, when reality, when the fireman should have been telling you, get the heck out of there, this building is about to go up in flames, he's telling you, you can go in, it's no big deal, because he doesn't want to hurt your feelings. And then you can potentially get yourself into something that you can't get out of. So those are the kind of things that you might want to explore when dealing with kind truths, kind lies over harsh truths. And the truth is not always kind, it's not always pretty. You might want to tell someone something that they would never thought they would hear from you. But if they think that, how well do they really know you? You might want to also get a person ready for what's ahead of them. That thing called life. Everything that you're going to hear might not be something you agree with, but everything that has been invented might be something that was made up because people had to deal with harsh truths. Just like if a civilization was living too close to the ocean and their civilization was wiped out by floods year after year, that civilization might want to address the fact that they're living too close to water, instead of let us set up camp by water so we can have easier access to water. And sometimes the easier access you have to something doesn't necessarily make it better. So those are all questions you have to ask when building something. And any invention that you have has to go through a process of trial and error. And usually things get better through trial and error. There are not many things that don't get better through trial and error. Like I said at the beginning of this video, this is the third take at this video, and I don't even know if the sound is coming out or if anyone could hear me. But I had to do it 3 times before I got better at figuring out what was working and what is not working, what was not working. So there's an old saying that says the more you do something, the better you may get at it. It doesn't say the better you will get at it, the better you may get at it. Another question you might want to ask before trying to undertake, whether it's a conversation, whether it's a new project, a new venture, something you haven't tried before, is whose validation is important to me? Whose validation is important? Is it, and at what point do I feel validated? Is that at the point where everybody likes what I do? Is it at the point where everybody agrees with what I say? Is it at the point where I asked the person who I value and they said I was doing a good job? All things that you might never get, because everybody does things for a different reason, according to their understanding, according to the way that they were brought up, their beliefs, what they consider good. So you might be doing something that might never be validated by the people who you wish were validating it, but then you have to come into a realization that I might not get that. It might not be something that I need after all, or I felt that I wanted it because that's someone whose opinion I valued. But once you have to do something, you just have to do it. It doesn't matter if everyone's in agreement. It just takes you to know this is something that I have to do and something I want to work out, and work out the bumps and work out the bruises. And the more you do that, the better you will get at it. So you could be telling yourself, I'll do this tomorrow, I'll do this the day after, I'll talk to him later, I'll talk to her when the time is right, and that time may never come. The time might be, yes, right now, right before you go and try something that could potentially change everything. It could be during, yes, the time that you're working. It could be during the time right before a nice football game that you've wanted to watch. The time is never wrong. There's better time for everything, but the time is never wrong when you have to get something off your chest, or when you have to express something that might otherwise go misunderstood. So with that being said, know that you might want to ask yourself, you might want to realize the question to ask yourself when trying to figure out whether to be kind or not is my kindness hindering someone? Is my kindness hurting someone? Is my truth just being harsh for no reason? Or is this some truth behind a person being a little harsh but furthering your goal, furthering what you need to hear, or furthering a situation through some sort of pain or some sort of struggle? And you might realize it might hurt because I'm not used to hearing it. It might hurt because I'm used to doing things always the same way that feels comfortable to me. But if things always feel comfortable to you, you're probably not growing. If things always feel like they're eluding you, whether it's the truth or whether it's an uncomfortable situation, it means because people have gotten used to not telling you things out of fear of how you may react. And that's not a good situation to be in, potentially for you, because why? Because it might be a situation in which everyone just grown comfortable, but not really focusing on how I can make the situation better. With that being said, I hope to come back later once my phone line is connected, and hopefully there's some sound in this video, which I don't know at this moment, but I'll find out once I get off of this line, of this broadcast. And please feel free to check out my Instagram page on the description of this video. Please feel free to check out my Facebook page, also on the description of this video. And if you have any questions, any comments, just ask either through email, which is also in the description of this video, or feel free to leave me a comment on Facebook. But also, if you have any topics that you wish to have addressed, just ask. The worst that I can do is say I can't do it because I don't know too much about it, but we can always ask questions and get further and deeper into a subject that might be a little difficult. I want to thank you. Have a good night and do your best. Thank you. So you could be telling yourself, I'll do this tomorrow, I'll do this the day after, I'll talk to him later, I'll talk to her when the time is right, and that time may never come. The time might be, yes, right now, right before you go and try something that could potentially change everything. It could be during, yes, the time that you're working. It could be during the time right before a nice football game.